Greetings, folks. I'm so glad you're back for another week of Evolve. I am your host, Monette Brann-Natta. I am so excited to share energy with you, and I want to give us a little treat, a little gift. I know by now we've married and we've Christmas, and we're heading on into the new year. And so what I wanted to do was something that was a little bit more fun. I have chosen to do a show about friendship. I've been thinking about that a lot. And so I've asked one of my dearest friends in this world to join me about this show this week. Her name is Kate, and we're going to get right into it. It's going to be a little bit impromptu. She has been totally wind beneath my wings kind of friend. I mean, beaches and all that jazz. Without the sadness so far. We've been very lucky. And we definitely have experienced the highs and the lows of friendship. And I've been thinking about that because I've had a few clients ask me recently about friendships. And I think it's something that I don't know if everybody knows. We are always kind of worried about that, concerned about that. I know as our lives evolve, we get into different places because we have our relationships with our spouses and our relationships with our coworkers. But then if you're lucky, we always heard our parents tell us, there's that one friend that really sticks with you throughout your life. And if you're lucky, we always say you get one or two if you're really lucky. And for me, Kate's that friend. So it's so good to have you on Evolve today, Kate.
It's great to be here. I've been waiting for my turn.
You're getting your turn. Okay, guys. This show is going to be fun. I'm so excited because Kate and I have a natural rapport that we've built over the past 13. It's been 13 years?
Yeah, it has been.
But doesn't she sound exhausted, y'all? 13 years of listening to all of my words and my ideas and my thoughts. What's so funny about our friendship is that I am quite loquacious, as you all know. I have all the words. I love the words. I use them. Kate is not. Kate has incredible wisdom, and it's very concise. That's one of the things I appreciate about you, Kate. But you are not as worried. How have you stood me all these years with all of these words?
Yeah, it's been a marathon. It's been fun. But I will tell your listeners, I'm so excited that she gets to share some words with you guys now, and not all of them with me.
All for you.
They're beautiful and insightful, but after 13 years, I can't imagine how many words. So the fact that she gets to do a whole show just full of words just is so exciting, and I'm so happy.
She's happy it's not her, just her. Listening, I've been practicing for this show with Kate for every one of those 13 years. And
right.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the show, so grateful for you. And speaking of all this practice and work we've been doing, we're going to go into hashtags for this show, guys, which is a little different than the way that I normally introduce our subject matter. So hashtag for this segment is called Work It Out. Friendship is work, okay? Hashtag work it out. Can we talk about, Kate, how much work goes into a friendship that we've noticed?
Oh my gosh, so much work. You know, when friendships are new, they're exciting and you want to be together all the time. But then you get tired of each other. I think that's just natural human nature. And you have to wait a long time before you can have, the honest conversations that we have be like, guess what? I need you to go over there. But it takes a while to get to that point.
It does take a while. Yeah, there has to be a balance, and hashtag balance is actually the next part that I want to talk about. Were there times that you didn't feel that equal shares were being given in the relationship, in our friendship? Were there times you didn't feel like it was equal?
Yes, there was a time I was in a relationship, a very taxing, oppressive, really hard relationship for many years, and I really didn't have anything to give because the relationship took everything I had away from me. And I'm also a mom, so I had to balance that. And so I wasn't the best of friends at that point because I didn't have anything to give any of my friends. And but you stuck by me, and you walked me through all the crazy relationship things that we go through, and I came out the other end, and when I was able to look back, I realized what a horrible friend I was.
Well, that's not why I asked, girl. I'm not trying to
But the great thing is you stood by me, though, and that is what friendship is, and that's why it's so important to build on friendship over years, because you can look back and say, oh my gosh, she was there when nobody else was there, and you really were the only person who knew what I was going through, and you were able to support me through so much of it. And
well,
that was my example of not being there as much as you were.
Well, listen, guys, I didn't ask her that just to punish her, I promise you. It wasn't just to punish her. Now tell the good folks how you messed it up, girl. No, I love Kate dearly, and sometimes when we're going through relationships, which is our next hashtag, but let me touch on this first. When we're going through relationships, we can get lost in them sometimes. And having an anchor, which is what I think a friend is, really helps you remember who you are. There have been times when Kate has come into my life when things were out of bounds and I was not giving her as much. There were times in our friendship where there was definitely work that you've done, whether you think you were there for that moment or not, and I knew you needed me to be there, so I was, where you have picked up the slack in so many ways and reminded me of what I'm worth, what I'm deserving, what should be happening in a relationship for me. So working it out and having balance in a relationship, a norm of reciprocity, as I like to call it, is so important. Even something as simple as listening to each other's days, and we'll get into that, is so important. And I've had friendships where that wasn't being done, and it doesn't feel great. You want someone that cheers for you or cries for you, depending on what the situation calls for. Now, our next hashtag is hashtag new booze. Now, there's a phenomenon that happens in the absence of your friend when a new relationship begins for them. Can you talk about that? Because I've gone through it, you've gone through it.
When we have a new relationship, you want to give everything to them, to your new relationship, and you kind of throw everything to the side. I think that's completely normal. You throw your family, your friends, everything, because this person in your life is just like everything. They're the best, and they're all that matters, and then you just kind of forget about everyone else. But when you're good friends, you stand by and you realize what's going on. But it still hurts sometimes, when it first happens and it takes you a minute to realize what's going on. But yeah, we've both been there. We've been there. And in the beginning, when we can really know what was going on, it was hard for us to vocalize. But through the years and many relationships later that we've gone through, we understand it.
We really do understand it, and I think that we have really achieved a balance, and I think that we both have a safe space where we're able to say to one another, hey, I know you're missing an action, girl, and I'm going to get you in a couple weeks, just don't forget I exist, and I think that that's healthy.
Exactly.
The verbalizing of it. So the next hashtag, guys, is liar, liar, okay? Hashtag liar, liar. So this is the part where we talk about the thing. Is there ever a reason to lie to your bestie, especially when your bestie is lying to themselves? And let's talk about that. Do you hold your hand through the situation? Do you tell the truth all the time? Do you think we tell the truth all the time?
I think we try to lie, but we know each other so well, we know when each other is lying. And I sometimes think, oh, that's funny. I'll let her figure that out, and she can tell me the truth later. And I know you know that with me, because I'm not very good at that at all.
No, not at all.
We know each other as well as we do, or as well as I'm sure a lot of best friends do. We know when you're trying to cover something up or not tell us something. Sometimes it's to save the other person's feelings, but the truth's going to come out eventually, no matter what, really, especially when you're best friends.
Absolutely. It comes out no matter what. There is a time when you try to spare the feelings of the person sometimes, but I especially love what Kate just touched on about lying to ourselves or knowing, that's funny that she thinks that I believe this is really happening or it isn't happening, whatever the case is, because I always tell my listeners, Kate, and I think you know this, I always tell you, you're my first listener, I always tell you that energy is shared. Energy is shared. So
that's a huge lesson that you've taught me.
Yeah, it's something that I believe in so strongly, and I don't just talk it, I try to walk it. I'm always picking up and paying attention to the energy. But the thing about that is if there's a mistruth that's kind of floating between people that know each other well, it's understood. And that goes for relationships too, guys. That's that one intuition we have. If someone's cheating, or if our kids hurt, or something like that. There is definitely an energy that connects us all. So I love, too, the part when your bestie might be lying to themselves, and you are still, there is like a written rule somewhere that you are still going to walk with them and hold their hand anyway through that. You know what I mean, Kate?
Yeah, because I'm the queen of doing that. You tell me about myself all the time, and I'm in self-denial, and I tell you you're wrong all the time. But you're right most of the time.
Hashtag word.
Yeah, you are right all the time about it. And I tell you about yourself also, like, no, you're wrong. I don't feel that way. That's not going to happen or whatever. But it does. It does end up happening. But you never throw my face. You just help me pick up the pieces, and we carry on together. But you try to save me, but I don't listen most of the time.
Right. My friend Kate, lovely Sagittarius. She's a lovely, lovely Sag, and I love her dearly. But Sagittarius have a way of, like, running into brick walls a few times before they get it. And they just like those brick walls. And it's so funny. On our last show that we did with Heather, we were talking about animal totems and from last week. And Kate recently was telling me about how she had such a great metaphor for the brick wall Sagittarian. Tell them about the bird that was coming to you.
Oh, the cardinals?
Yes, the cardinals.
Okay. I have these cardinals in the back of my house who they just keep hitting the window over and over and over again. And I've put up paper. I've done everything to make them stop hitting this window, because at first I felt really sorry for them. Like, oh, my gosh, they're going to break their neck. And now I'm just concerned about my window. And so that's how I feel most of the time, because they won't stop. I've tried to be good and like, hey, stop hitting the window. That's not a bird. That's you. You're going to hurt yourself. But now they're just relentless, and they just bang and bang and bang. And that is a Sagittarius a lot of times. I really do have to have a huge bump on my head before I get something, or before I finish something that I've started, and I think I'm going to finish it, and I don't because it's not good for me. But we get very, very stubborn, very much so.
Right, very, very much so. And one of the things that's really interesting is that Kate called me when this was happening repetitively, and it was enough to be annoying to her. And she said, hey, Mom, this is what's going on, these birds. And I said, well, have you looked it up? Because that's my answer for everything. There's always a message. And so she looks up, and they weren't the pretty cardinals, right? They were the female cardinals, right?
Right. They weren't the pretty ones at all. No, they were the brown. The female are the less pretty ones, the ugly ones. And so they were trying to keep their man. I think that's what was going on.
Okay. But when we look,
but you were trying, you were trying to get the spiritual meaning, and I don't know. I never really did find what that was about.
Awesome. See, guys, right here, all the words for her. She's like, yeah, whatever, girl. Yeah. We'll look that up, and we'll talk about the meaning of it, and we'll definitely get that back to you guys, listeners, okay? But in any case, the cardinal.
Drop the ball. There you go.
That's what I'm here for. I'm picking up balls all the time. Anyway, so the thing is about the cardinal that I thought was interesting, if for no other reason than the meaning that might be behind it, is the idea that Kate needs a few times, like that cardinal, to figure out this is a window. And